going on, digital world? Welcome to this week's episode of the Web Buzz podcast. Roger and I are off a recent event and full of fire. So you guys better be watching out today. It's going to be a fast, furious, quick, to the point kind of episode because we got a lot on the schedule at the moment. So what's going on, Roger? How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. I think this is the confidence around the podcast starting to get pretty intense, man. We can just flow right into it.
Well, I guess you're speaking for yourself that you're getting confident. But real quick before we get started, I got a surprise for you.
Sure.
Are you ready? And those of you that are live watching right now, let us know in the comments. I see JP is live, says love the intro, but get ready. All right. Close your eyes, actually. It's gonna be a complete surprise. Close your eyes.
I'm closing my eyes if you're listening to this.
All right, go ahead and open them.
Oh, dang.
Bam.
you got to drop some gold bars on that one, man. We've been kind of waiting for those right there. So I'll let you intro what that is in case someone's just listening.
There's that bag of gold bars. So it's official. The REI Toolbox t-shirts are in and ready to go. I can't wait to get these in the hands of our clients. Matter of fact, I'll hit you with another really quick surprise.
Man, Sean's full of surprises today. I've been talking to him most of the day, so this is he's been holding off. He's been holding off on a lot of these things.
Not holding off. They came in while we were gone.
Oh, really?
I come back to the office to a bunch of presents and gifts. One of those being these sweet shirts, and then check that out.
Oh man, there we go. Yep. Welcome box.
The welcome boxes that are going to be pretty soon filled with a lot of goodies going out to some new members of the REI Toolbox family, which, if you guys don't know, is the real estate division of Top Results Consulting and the main component of the Web Buzz podcast. Even though today we're going to be coming with a slightly different episode, and I call this a major success and a major win, folks, because Roger brought this topic to me. Do you know how hard it is to get the Googlenator to want to talk about anything other than dominating Google? Yet on my way to the office this morning, he's like, hey, I don't know if you got any topic ideas for the podcast today, but I got one. And I want to do it on what we call the 4 pillars of success, something that we spent a lot of time talking about at the Lion's Den Mastermind, and it spilled over into the Unleash Your Inner Lion event throughout the course of the weekend. But I have a feeling Roger's got some really good insights on how that takes it to the next level in your real estate business. So if you're a real estate business owner, real estate professional of any means, and you're watching or listening to this episode, stay tuned, because I have a feeling you're going to get some really, really key insights on how this plays a hand, coming from the guy who really spends a lot of time at the end of the day just checking a bunch of boxes and making an algorithm favor him, and how that's going to kind of bring your business to the next level. So without any further ado, I want to hand it over to you, dude, since this was your idea for this topic.
Yeah.
Get us started. And you're going to say something that's going to send me on a tangent. So
I'll try not to. Early. We promised each other that we're going to keep it nice and tight. So what I'm going to do, this might be just an intro to this topic and kind of, span out to other episodes in the future. So I'll kind of get it going here. So obviously, Sean kind of already let you guys know we're coming off of a really, really powerful event, Unleash Your Inner Lion event. It was an awesome event. Thanks, Sean, for putting that on. I know everybody that was there definitely appreciates that.
Absolutely.
A lot of breakthroughs. But for me personally, there was a lesson, right? There was a lesson that we talked about, which was these 4 pillars of success and how important they are. And a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we get sucked in to certain portions of our business and we'll realize that there are essentially 4 pillars. There's 4 quadrants, right? That we need to kind of keep charged up so we can show up and actually perform at peak performance. And it doesn't always have to be about business, right? It can also be about showing up for your family, your kids, things like that. And for me, those of you kind of know me or have gotten to know me, that's a big piece of what I do. Business does flow into family, and all that is under one umbrella. And I try to show up and perform at my peak as best that I can for my business partner, for my clients, and then on the other side for my kids, my wife, and my family. But it is hard. It is hard. So I'll kind of break down the 4 pillars of success that we kind of worked through and looked at how we can actually keep those 4 pillars charged. It's not an easy task, but at least giving you a roadmap of what to start working towards might help a little bit. So let's kick it off a little bit with these 4 pillars and what they are, to really kind of put together the mind, body, and become basically master the mind and body to be able to show up at peak performance, right? So you can show up for your people, for your life. So those 4 pillars start with stress, sleep, exercise, and diet. So I'll kind of stop there, Sean. I'll kind of let you kind of see what you got on those, and then we can break those down a little bit and see how we can help everybody out there.
Well, I mean, the one that stands out to me is the diet, coming straight off of a fun couple days of just eating whatever the heck I have. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well in the diet category now. All jokes aside, in case you guys did not catch those, we'll put them in the show notes as well. But stress being, in my opinion, one of the biggest ones. Diet being another one of those, because I believe they go hand in hand on it. For me, it's always been a super big focus on the stress side when showing up. And we don't got a ton of time today to kind of dissect these, but I love the idea of kind of hitting kind of the overarching higher discussion for a second on this. And then next week, I say we just break down each one of these in more detail. But I want to hit on something really quick before I kick it back to you. I know Roger kind of prefaced this with, hey, these are the 4 quadrants, or kind of the 4 keys to success, or 4 pillars, however you want to kind of put this, to mind body mastery and really showing up in peak performance. However, when I sit down and I look at these, and every time I hear Dr. Andrea, who spoke for us at the event around this, every time I hear her and I get in discussions around this, I can't help but look at how does that translate over into how am I showing up internally for my team? How am I showing up externally for our clients? And I notice a direct correlation that when these are off, something's off with the team. When these are off, something's off with our performance as a business, and really being able to show up all out for those that we serve, and for those who are looking at us as maybe the next step in their journey, or the next piece of the puzzle that they need. And I want to just really emphasize, folks, that next week's probably going to be an episode you want to tune into, because I'm going to come armed with some stuff, and I know Roger's going to come armed with some stuff. It's really going to make a shift in that. So I'm curious to hear from you, Roger. What were some of the big ones that stood out to you? And we don't got to get too deep into them, but just kind of what were the big ones for you, and kind of give some insight as to what you're going to bring next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think some of the big ones for me are actually the biggest one for me that actually flows and affects the other 3 quadrants, as if we can say that, was the sleep. A lot of the things that came up as we talked it out, even when you talk, you have your own internal conversations with yourself and really kind of dig deep on what's going on, what's affecting you. Why do you not think you're showing up at peak performance, or operating at peak performance? And for me, it went back to sleep, right? I tend to really get sucked into work, and try to kind of do a lot, and then try to do stuff with family, and try to kind of do all these things. Well, there's only so many hours in the day, right? And I know it goes back to blocking off time, scheduling, not procrastinating, that, eventually it will affect you and force you to kind of stay up late and get some things done. So there's a lot, right, that I had to unpack and really look at, because once I saw that was kind of the core, Then I looked at everything else as like, well, if I'm, depriving myself of sleep, then it stresses me out. Then I'm probably not exercising because I don't have the energy. And at the end of the day, I'm probably not focusing on my diet, even though I have a registered dietitian that lives with me, my wife. You know what? So I have all these things at my fingertips, but yet one of these pillars per se could throw you off, like it has for me. And once you identify, it's a little easier to then kind of get back on your roadmap to success and start working at it.
Just remember, this is recorded. So when you
I
say
know.
something like, I have a registered dietitian like my wife, and then you eat a cheeseburger later tonight, you're kind of giving out the ammunition to get yourself in the doghouse.
Oh, yeah.
Let me guess, she's sitting right there too?
No, she's not here right
Oh,
now,
okay.
but she
I was
will
waiting
be
for her to be
with me.
sitting over on the Peloton. Like,
She's probably,
nice.
no. She's probably gonna watch this, record it on her own, and keep it. So every time I make bad dietary decisions, they'll be thrown in my face, which is fine. I got to get better at that anyway.
Now, real quick, on that, I'm curious why this topic stood out to you. Why did you hit me up today and say, "Hey, let's start scratching the surface on that"? We already knew this was going to be a short episode today. It's just we took 4 or 5 days off last week, and I don't know about your calendar, but I know mine is there's no free moment at all. I could finally focus on something at about 5 o'clock tonight. That's about it. But why this topic?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great question. So for me, there was a number of things, and a lot of you that do personal development, kind of go through a lot of stuff. I know there was another group that went through a whole nother program for the last probably 16 days or so. And what it comes down to, there's a lot of things. This isn't the only portion that's going to make you successful, right? That's not the topic at all, right? It's just kind of like the title, get things rolling. And for me, I needed to get these 4 pillars straight before I can start moving on to the next portion of this, right? And I mean, we talk about the 6 needs of, the 6 human needs and everything like that when you start kind of breaking those down. But that's not what this topic's all about. For me, was I need to master my mind and body first, right? Once I master my mind and body, I figure out how to get a balance in these 4 pillars. Then I can start moving myself into those other things that I need to do to improve what I'm doing. And this, once again, I want to stress it 100% that this doesn't always have to be about business, right? Currently, this is a business podcast. And for me and Sean, this does affect our business, right? Because if I don't show up and I'm not performing at peak performance, the best that I can come, and also, if I don't have that balance, I'm not showing up for my family, my kids, things like that, then it throws everything off. But to Sean's point, if I get a balance and I figure this out and I start getting more sleep and I start getting less stress and I start exercising, improving my diet, guess what? That's going to help me show up much, much better for all the things that I want to do. Then I can start adding things to my plate that I can do even better to improve myself. So I think for me, it was first kind of trying to master that mind body, the 4 pillars to master the mind body. And that's why it's so important for me to bring that up. I think a lot of us struggle with that. I thought it would be a great topic for us to talk about, since we're coming off of this event fresh and pumped, ready to go.
So I'm going to ask you guys to do us a favor, because we do got to keep this one short today. I literally have to get off of this call, or this recording of this podcast, and onto a call with a individual who's dying to get in touch with REI Toolbox and have some help in 3 minutes. That's how tight the schedule is, folks, right now, which is good. I mean, it's really, really good for us. But I'm going to ask for your help. I promise you, we're going deep into this next week. I'm even having the idea of possibly seeing if Dr. Andrea can join us on the Web Buzz podcast to kind of dissect this a little bit more from a guest appearance piece of it. But I'm curious, throw it in the comments or shoot us a message, hit us up. Matter of fact, Roger's dying. One of the commitments he made at the event was he was going to get more active on his Instagram at Ask Roger Valdez. Again, that was at Ask Roger Valdez. Shoot him a message over on Instagram. Make him get on there. If you just saw a second ago, I was recording the screen and recording us because I plan on putting that up and tagging you. And you got to learn to start sharing those things and doing that. So, folks, I'm going to ask you, put it in the comments. More importantly, I would love for you to go blow up Roger right now. Hit him over the course of the next week on @AskRogerValdez over on Instagram, and let us know what elements of this concept of mind-body mastery, the 4 pillars, the 4 quadrants, the 4 keys, however you want to say this, to success that you want to hear more about, where you want to dial deep into, and just how you want to, what do you need from us on this? I know it's a little bit out of the norm. We're not necessarily talking about web stuff, but I promise you this will draw a correlation to why you're probably struggling in some areas or why you're doing really, really well in some other components of life and business, and how that's going to translate over into some of the digital aspects of your business and allow you to show up completely ready to go. So I got about 60 seconds left, Roger. What do you want to leave them with for next week?
I'm just excited for next week to continue this conversation. I encourage you guys to put that in there, and also any contributions, right, that you want to put back on things that you have learned. I'd be really, really interested to hear those stories. But anyway, next week we'll continue this conversation. We'll go from there.
Absolutely. And with that being said, folks, as we say every single week, from all of us here at the Web Buzz Podcast, here's to your success. We'll see you guys later.